Well, hello and welcome to another Tyrrell's Classic Workshop. And this time round we're having a Workshop Catchup, one of many that we've done. And because there's been sufficiently enough, a wide and varied range of jobs going on in the workshop to warrant a video of its own. And as ever, we're coming to Craig's corner of the workshop. Hello, Craig.
Hi.
Thank you for coming out of the corner. So first job on the list, we're going to look at three things today. You've been busy, and one of them, first of all, is this Daytona Dashboard. We featured, I think, one of the very first right-hand drive Daytonas, Ferrari Daytonas ever built in a few videos ago, and the dashboard, which is your cue.
Yeah. So
bring on the old dashboard material. That is it. No, I'll put it there. I'm not going to put it. Okay, that was close.
Yeah.
I don't like the sight of blood, particularly when it's my own. So this is this beautiful material, mousehair, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Which we use quite often here. It's the sort of modern day identical equivalent to what they used in period, but that's what UV light does to mousehair. There's patina and then there's and this is definitely in the latter category.
Yeah.
So we remove the whole dash assembly out of the car, which is basically two fiberglass mouldings, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. That segment.
Yeah.
That segment is the bit that goes around the
sorry,
steering
three.
column. Yes,
Three.
yeah, but yeah.
And this is, so you remove this, as you have.
Yes.
They're the four demisting vents in the top of the dash. I'll hand you that back carefully.
Thank you.
And then I won't touch the vents with this, but that's the back end, which is literally a fiberglass moulding.
It's really light once you've taken everything apart.
Yeah, it's not light now.
Yeah, it seems to. I think the glove box lid is 2/3 of the weight really.
Yeah, well that's a block of wood, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Well, it's a big piece of wood with some pretty sturdy foam behind it.
Right.
So,
but you wouldn't know, would you?
No.
So you've been busy with that, and as ever, there's stitching round here.
Yeah.
We've actually got some footage of you grappling with trying to put that on the instrument binnacle, which we can include in there. Because to get that like that is a job in itself. It really is.
It's it has to sit.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just
sort
so.
of like that. Yeah.
So we'll turn that round. This is separate, but Craig, to pull it so that it all fits equally around there.
Also, this is the main part is cut widthways, which is where you can see the grain there, and then this is cut lengthways, so it goes up, so you can see the grain is different.
It's at 90 degrees.
Yes, so.
Yeah, and that's exactly how they left.
Yes,
the
that's
factory.
same with the Dino as well. Yeah,
yes.
So.
And you've done a few of these.
Yeah, so I don't know why, but yeah, and they all seem to be in the same state as well. Really, when we come to retrim them, it's sort of standard issue. That's what they look like now. Yeah. Really, it's delicate material, but it looks great once it's done. Really, yeah.
So that's looking fabulous, and that will transform the appearance of the interior of the car.
Yeah, so
that's a stroke.
Yeah, it was the one thing that you were drawn to really out of the whole car. Really.
Yeah. Well, we could almost have been DJs because we can segue nicely into the Daytona Seats now, can't we?
So I move this over here.
Oh, there's a bit of weight in that.
Yes, there is. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah,
Shall I grab the rest of the seat?
the main part there. So yeah, you said the customer wasn't happy with the foam sort of.
Well, what was happening was, this is a very original car.
Yes.
But this This is all Ferrari Daytona foam, essentially, that's fallen out of the underneath of the seat. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Exhibit
as
A.
if by magic.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So
A little past its best, I
these
think.
two bits were at the back. I've replaced them with chip foam because these were
Dead.
The customer didn't want there to be a pile of sand underneath the. Every time you sit in it, and it just gets everywhere. So it's really the centerpiece. So I took that off, and it has been retrimmed, and it had black calico on it. I put more.
Can we turn this
Yes,
round?
Sure, yeah. So that's just like a hinge section. So, and the original diaphragm is there. So I took the foam off, and it's there's not a lot left of it. So I put new black calico on, and also underneath there, which you can only just about see from the back. I put mohair on there because it's thin and it's durable, and nothing's going to go through that. So there was the calico and then the mohair on the back, and then that's been stuck back onto there.
Right, and this is as you say, this is the original.
That's the original diaphragm. That
it's
is.
like
So
a rubbery material.
Yeah, we wanted to keep that because that's, as you can see, it's been tacked on, stapled together. So we wanted to save that as well. But this had already been retrimmed anyway.
Okay.
The face. So whoever retrimmed it saw the problem as well. So they had to try and save the foam because, as you could imagine.
Well, the Daytona seats in the world of Ferraris have become a thing.
Yeah.
Because they launched the Daytona with these seats, with these beautiful little.
I know, they look great, don't they?
Plastic, sort of faux leather, fake leather inserts, and they really are very stylish, and they sort of breathe as well, don't they?
Yes, yeah. They look good.
And they've been optional extras. This is a case of Ferrari. Thinking, oh, hello, hang on, Daytona seats. Why don't we use these in? And I think they've used them for years in different models, right? Almost to the. Don't know whether they still do. There's a question for people. Can you still get Daytona seats in a new Ferrari? I think you can. It was thousands of pounds extra.
Yeah. They look busy.
But they all. But it all started here.
Yeah.
This is the Daytona that started it. So I mean that's that. I mean, yeah.
So that's retrimmed onto that. I know it looks like nothing but soon as the cover is on it, it starts to. Well, there's another one around the corner if you want me to go get it. I'll just. So that's what it looks like.
Isn't that beautiful?
So you can see if you were to beef out the foam even more. I know it looks like there's nothing left of it, but if you were to put any more foam on it, it would be out here.
Yes. You'd be sitting on it as opposed to in it.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, we've come across this. I remember years ago, we had a Miura in, and it had been done by some very famous go-to name people in the trim world. I shall say no more. And they put so much, because the headroom is critical on it. And they put a bit too much foam in here, and you couldn't sit in it.
Yeah. Before you know it,
Exactly. They could have done better, really.
Yes.
Frankly, as I say, they shall remain nameless. But Craig, it looks like it hasn't been done, and surely that's the best.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to start taking the seat apart, so it was the best thing to separate that piece, which was the easiest bit to do, really. And it's just two screws that fit. And this fit in. You can see it at the back. There's just. Where is it? There you go. A screw there and a screw there. Undo them, and then it comes out, and it sort of hinges as well. It's a
quite a thing, isn't it? Really?
Good bit of engineering, considering it's quite simple without the cover.
Yeah. And these are the this is the webbing.
Yes, and the webbing's
which is original.
Pretty good. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, get a tune out of those. That's fantastic. It really is. Well, that's given them. And the thing is, the foam's not going to come out of it.
No, I know.
The floor.
Yeah, because until I replaced those two blocks, it was the last piece, and I didn't realise that those were in at the back. So, so now they've gone. No, it's fine. Yeah.
Stunning work, that. Absolutely stunning. Okay, great. We're going to also, while we're in Craig mode, have a look at what you've been doing. The silver BMW 3-litre CSI, the E9, that we actually featured quite a lot of videos ago, was a popular video because the BMW is a popular car. It's a beautiful car, actually, the E9 3-litre CSI and CSL. And the car's come back in for a further tranche of work, and Craig's been working his magic on the carpets in that car. The owner's been helping. And I think over to you.
Yes, there's.
Should we repair to the sewing machine?
Well, yeah.
Now this looks very much like German loop carpet that beloved of BMW and Mercedes and Porsche, I think, actually. Yeah. But what's been happening? What's
yeah, the customer came in. He'd acquired bits of car. The car was missing the the mats in the front and in the back. So he'd acquired, I think he's got door cards as well, because I think the door cards on that, they've got a speaker on them. He doesn't like that as well, so he's going to sort that out. So he's got hold of so much carpet, but none of the carpet that he got was the bits that he needed. So we needed to sort of manufacture the right shape carpet. So yeah, so we've got bits, and then we had one for the around the pedals, but it was for the other side. So at least we had the rubber, which was good. So so this is two pieces, and there's a join there which you can't see because I've put the rubber over it and I've taken it as close to that. So also on the back, that's my mohair, which is my go-to. So I put mohair on the back as well because the carpet, I don't want it falling apart as well, because it's, it looks quite old. So I put that on to give it a bit more.
I see.
Yes, so, you see, yeah. So
you've actually joined that there.
So this
is two separate pieces.
So yes, yeah.
Cool.
So if we take the rubber off, you'd see this piece here and this piece here butting up against each
Isn't
other.
That amazing?
So it's glued on. We put the mohair on the bottom to to keep it together as well. I've also put 2 lines of sewing as well, so that's where the join is.
Right.
And then we've put the rubber on, because it wouldn't be worth doing it if you just see like
but
a,
you wouldn't
a
know.
mark.
You wouldn't know.
That's
amazing.
And then it's rebound as well. So because they were just like pieces.
Right.
So we've rebound it as well, and
you're in the middle of sewing this.
Yes, yeah.
Would you mind doing a bit?
Yes, yeah, sure. Here we go. Stevenson's the sewing machine.
Where the pressure is on.
It's okay.
I wouldn't have asked you if I didn't think you could cope.
Rightio, okay. Yeah. I measure I need to get where this ends in the middle of that foot there. So that's my guide really. And I've got a bad habit of holding where the belt moves here. Because I don't want it to go flying off, because it's a clutch motor. So I always do that. It's just a bad habit I've never really grown out of. So there you go, you've got that there.
Isn't that wonderful?
So and then we turn the corner.
It's like one of those TV shows from the 1970s where everybody has a go and everybody messes it up. Wow. So, and I don't, I tend not to back tack it when you can press, you lift that down and the machine will go do 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 do. If you do that, it sort of damages, we've got old material here and it sort of damages it. So I go over where I've started, so it's like that. And then I take that out and I can pull it from the other side, you see. He says, if you can find it, yeah, that's it, there you go. If I pull that from the other side and then tie a knot in it, amazing.
And then it's not as aggressive, you see what I mean? So you've got 4, so those 2 are where it started and those 2 are where it finished, and then I tie them together, and then you haven't got that there. Isn't
that wonderful?
Actually, that should come through there. So
wow.
yeah, that's and that's how that's done.
All clever stuff.
And that's the other carpet for the other side.
Right, okay.
So, and that's the same. It was just a piece which we've sort of doctored, and yeah, that'll fit.
Isn't that wonderful? Craig, thank you very much. I'm going to leave. People are always interested in what you do because it's artisanal. Artisanal. Does that word exist? I think it does.
It does now.
Exactly. It's now officially a thing, and at the highest level. That's wonderful. Thank you, Craig.
Cheers. Thanks.
Well, here we have another interesting car. Any Lamborghini Espada is interesting. They're an absolutely wonderful piece of machinery and everything else. But this car is particularly special because it's a right-hand drive Series 1 Espada. And I think they made 7 of them only, something like that. It's very, very tiny production numbers. And this car is, it's very original. It's finished in this stunning colour of aqua verde, it's called, aquamarine, essentially, or aqua green, with a tobacco leather interior, which is just a fabulous colour combination. And the number plate that's on it at the moment is a Manx number plate. So this car has come from the Isle of Man, the island off the west coast of the UK. It's actually being sort of brought over here once it's finished and will be sold. But we're doing quite a lot of work on this car. Engine rebuild, gearbox rebuild, the differential is being rebuilt, so the whole drive line. And we've done Craig's made up some carpets for the interior, which we covered in a previous video. The mill is now back in the engine with the gearbox attached. And we're going to be doing quite a lot of finishing work on this car. The radiator isn't in place yet. We have to have that looked at and possibly recored or reconditioned because the V12 needs a lot of cooling. It needs proper cooling. But yeah, it's come along very well, this car, actually. But it's not one, I think, apart from the carpets we've actually had on the channel before. So it's really good to have broken the back of this job. It's been a long time because it's been a sort of on the back burner job, really, not an everyday thing. We're doing this as a project. Being a Series 1, it has the Miura wheels on it, the knock-on wheels with that wonderful design that the Miura's had, which actually makes them more desirable, really. So yeah, it's coming along well, this, and we'll be able to drive this hopefully sometime in the next few weeks. Really, really good project, this. One of potentially 7 right-hand drive Espada Series 1s. Well, we're back to the Jensen FF, the four-wheel drive Jensen. This particular car, we did a video dedicated to this car a while back, probably 18 months ago, 2 years ago. But it's been away, it's had a lot of work done on it since. It's had a bare metal repaint, effectively, lots of work done. This again has been a sort of a project going on in the background, a restoration project. And we've found that the carburettor, the original carburettor, this is the Chrysler 383 engine. It's a 6.2 litre V8, which actually developed more power than the later 7.2 litre V8s in the Jensens, but four-wheel drive. Again, I'll do another video on this car because it's super interesting. Craig's made up a set of carpets for it. We've got the very, very wide transmission tunnel, extremely wide because of the four-wheel drive system underneath there, the centre differential, etc. But one of the difficulties that we've encountered with this is the carburettor. It's funny. American carburettors like Rochester's or Carter's, they just, because they're so complex, they can be quite difficult to rebuild, particularly if somebody's been in there already at some stage in the car's life and done an offshore repair of some description, to put it kindly. It basically means the Carter or Rochester carburetors can become unusable, and that's the case with this car. It can be such bizarre things as the Carter Thermoquad, which is was used on a lot of these Chrysler engines, was built for unleaded fuel, which came in the US, I think in the early 70s actually. And when they came into the UK, the floats actually absorbed lead from the petrol because they weren't built to run with leaded fuel. And it made the floats heavy inside the float chamber to the fact where they didn't actually operate like a valve system. They just stayed open all the time, and you ended up with an extremely flooded V8 engine. So you could actually get modified floats for the Carter Thermoquads. But this, what we're doing is because this car is so historically important and this engine is the original engine, etc., matching numbers, we're retaining the original cast iron inlet manifold, even though there are aluminium alternatives available. And that presents various challenges actually. It's far more straightforward just to put a Offenhauser Street Dominator manifold on, or whatever it is. But we're going with the original manifold. We got this lovely Edelbrock carburettor, which is supposed to be a like-for-like swap. It isn't. We've discovered we've slightly been told a bit less than the truth, but nevertheless, it's got the introductory throttles here, and then the secondary throttles when you really want lots of gas flow. This is a lovely bit of kit, beautiful thing. They're not expensive, and that will eventually, Alex is just preparing linkages, etc., altering fuel pipes, things like that to make this fit and work, and it should be a comparatively plug and play solution. As I say, not quite as simple as we were led to believe, but hey, worse things happen at sea, and it's going to be a very elegant solution to the carburation problem. We'll keep the original carburetor with the car as part of the car's history, but it's effectively unusable. So yeah, looking forward to driving the car with this on. I reckon it's going to be pretty fantastic, actually. Well, another car that's well on its way to being finished is this car. It's an F40, a Ferrari F40 that we've got in for restoration, and Ryan at Chester Prestige Paintworks has done a marvellous job of painting this car, and everything's been detailed in the engine compartment, etc., and it's looking pretty fabulous now, but not over the top. We don't want better than new. That's easier to do on an F40 than quite like new. And we've gone for the latter. So it's well on its way to being finished. The big hold-up has been the fuel tanks. Ferrari have, for the moment, opted to stop making fuel tanks for F40s, and it's down to independent companies, and boy, are they charging for the privilege. I suppose it's understandable, because they're worth a lot of money now, F40s, £2 million, something like that. So it's understandable that the parts suppliers sort of want to cash in a little bit on the reflected glory of the price increase. I get that, but even so, they've gone up monumentally in price. So we're waiting for the 2 new tanks. They were ordered quite a long time ago. We're waiting for them to arrive. We've got the rear suspension stripped down, ready to insert the tanks into the middle of the car either side. They're the rubber bag tanks, the bladder tanks as they're called, which were for the rest of world market, apart from the US, where they used aluminium tanks for insurance reasons. So go figure, there it is. That's the vagaries of laws between different continents and countries and markets. But nevertheless, this is almost ready for being finished. And it's looking fabulous. I'm really looking forward to driving this car, because it should be in fantastic health, really, when it's done with all the work that's been done to it. We've done a lot of mechanical restoration work. Yeah, it's hopefully in apple pie order, this car. Well, hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll be back with something else very soon.